everyone. I'm here with the Aisha G, a phenomenal drummer, overall musician, and a great friend of mine. She's someone who I personally look up to, and I wanted to provide a platform for everyone to get to know her and love her as much as I do.
Oh, hey y'all.
So without further ado, thank you, Aisha, for your time today. I appreciate it.
Of course, anytime.
So I know we've talked about this before, but you've played drums from a really early age. How old were you exactly when you
I
discovered
was
your passion?
I was 3 years old when I discovered I wanted to be a drummer.
Okay, okay. And from what I remember, you were at a dance class, but
hmm
you didn't want to dance. You
Correct.
saw the drummers and you went over there. Go ahead and elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah, so pretty much my aunt was like an African dancer, amongst many other talents, but she took me to an African dance class in Leimert Park, and they had African hand drummers there playing for the dancers. So she would always ask me if I wanted to dance, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. So I went straight to the drums. I was playing a little bit, and they said I had a nice touch, and they was like, she got something, so she should go to the world stage, which was right across the street, taught by like a legendary jazz drummer named Billy Higgins, who passed away a long time ago. But yeah, so I start going there, and he taught me ever since I was 3, and I learned jazz, like Latin, blues, all when I was like a little bitty thing. And I did like my first big little gig when I was like 4 years old. I think it was like 1997 or something, at the Jazz at Drew Festival, because they had all the kids from the workshop go and perform. So that was my first little introduction
Oh,
to
I
the
didn't
big.
even know that.
Oh yeah.
Would you say he was primarily your main instructor, or were there other instructors that you had throughout your life too?
He was for a bit until I was 7. Then he passed away. He was older and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
he passed away. But he made a big impact in my life and in my playing. And I still listen to his like old music and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
then his friend, younger guy named Cornell Fowler, an extraordinary drummer. I never really saw him play until I got older, but I was like, whoa, this dude's good. But he took over the class, and he'd been teaching me ever since I was like up until high school is when I kind of stopped going so much because I got really busy, but I would still come to him as an adult if I need help with something like really hard or reading, or he's always there to support me. If I call him right now, he'll, hook me up with whatever I need. So yeah, I've had
That's good.
that. I've had instructors in middle school. I had a great teacher. We called him Colonel Spencer, and he was real strict. Oh my God. So he threw me right in advanced band in middle school. So like in the 6th grade, I didn't really know how to read or nothing.
Mhm.
And he didn't care because I had the talent already. And then in high school, I went to Washington Preparatory, which was like extraordinary music program. And it was led by Corey Hogan, who taught me. He was like a saxophone player, but he could
Mhm.
teach you anything. Um, and before that was Mr. Pullum. He like started that music program and made it what it is. But he left to start his own school. So I only
Okay.
got to be instructed under Corey. And also shout out to Mr. Daly. He was the drum instructor at Henry Clay. So he taught me some drum stuff, and we still cool to this day. And then in high school, the drum instructor, because there's always like different instructors. Like you got your main band teacher who
Mm-hmm.
can't really, do the things that a drummer can do, but they can show you. So we had a marching band drum line instructor named Nate. Nate is like, yeah, he was a beast on the snare drum and all that stuff. So shout out to Nate.
Played snare.
I played first bass
Mm-hmm.
because you got to start off. You
I
can't
started off on
jump
bass.
right into snare unless you're like really good at marching band. And I just was
Mm-hmm.
learning. So first bass is really good for like little people like me, but you also got to have chops because it's smaller and faster. And then I went on to snare drum like a year or two later, and then I was with the big boys. And we
Okay.
had an all-female bass line. That was sick. All the
Yes.
girls were playing bass at one point in time in high school, and then like when people graduate and things like that, it switched up. But we
Mhm.
tried to keep that baseline, but we were sick. And Theo was another drum instructor at high school. In high school, he was sick too, and he like was an alumni who would just come back and help.
Do you remember when you actually got your first like drum set, your first full drum set?
Yeah, Billy Higgins actually gifted me one. I still have it. Well, it's at my cousin's house because he's like a little guy, and I let him play with it. But
Mhm.
it was called like Kima. I thought it was a Tama, but
Mhm.
it's like a Kima drum set. But it was like real little and blue and cute. It came with the cymbals and everything, so it's real cute. I still have it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's all
definitely a
broken
gift
up,
to
but
keep forever. Yeah,
yeah,
that's really
I'm gonna get it
special.
back from my cousin's house.
Yeah, you should. Oh,
Yeah.
what does your cousin play it too sometimes?
I was trying to teach them. It's a boy and a girl, and I was
Mhm.
trying to teach them both, but nope,
No,
it didn't
no
stick with
interest.
it.
I
Didn't stick with
know. It hurts me sometimes too because I gave my niece the Coco guitar when we were selling at Guitar Center at the
it. Yeah.
time. And she tried to get back into it every now and then, but she just it's not her passion. So I'm like, oh man,
No,
I
they
can't wait
don't
to
want to
meet
do
that
it
kid
all.
though. That really it might be May, but May might have other passions. She might be a
Yeah,
drummer. So
a drummer, a rapper, who knows?
yeah, or she could completely shock me and be a doctor. It'd be up
Right,
to her.
right. She's gonna be great.
Know that you do teach though, so it's like you're able to pay it forward in a way, everything that you've learned as a musician and give that knowledge to somebody else. It's a really good.
Yeah, and I feel like what I did teach them, they'll kind of keep it with them forever. Like if someone has a drum set and they're like, "Oh, my cousin plays drums. Let me show you what she taught me." I'm sure
Yeah.
they'll be able to do something like I don't know, stand out in that way. So yeah, but they're
So
great at other things.
yeah. So when you pretty much played all throughout high school and middle school, but when was the moment that you saw that you could like play drums professionally? Like that was something that you wanted to do?
I kind of got more serious in middle school actually because
Mm.
um like I was playing in church, and that's like kind of when you become professional when you're getting paid. That's what they say. When you start
Mhm.
getting paid for what you do, it's considered professional. So like in church, I was playing. My home church was like First Church of God in Inglewood, and it's like a really big church and great musicians. Like I don't know if you like know a lot of gospel artists, but this dude named Dietrich Haddon is really popular. But his brother is a drummer. Day Day Haddon, and he was a drummer. And he was killing, but I only could play for youth service because I wasn't that like on that level to play with the adults. So we did
Mhm.
youth service and stuff. And then I switched to another church just so I could have my own shine. And I played with the adults in that choir. So eventually I got better to the point where I could do that. Larry Dennis was a great music director at First Church of God. So he's a big influence now. He still calls me for church gigs when I can do it.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's that. But the moment like where I was like, oh yeah, I could do this was probably middle school, high school, because I started doing jazz band and we got to perform at like cocktail parties or private events, and
Mhm.
we got to work with this program called Bebop to Hip Hop. So we met like this old rapper, Charlie Tuna, and then like Dougie Fresh, Herbie Hancock came up to the school. We got to play with Herbie Hancock, like the biggest
Man.
jazz pianist ever. Um, who else? This guy named think his last name. I want to say Shorter. I don't know. No, maybe not. I don't want to say the wrong name, but he's like a popular jazz trumpeter.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's just like that moment, like taught me I could do this for a living and professionally. And then after that, it was kind of a wrap. I just kept moving on up.
That's true. You definitely did. I'm always excited to see what else you do. Like I'm
Yeah.
always really proud of you
Aw.
as a friend and just like seeing the growth. I'm like, man, my friend's really about it. Like, look at her
Aw.
go. That's why I say you really do inspire me because I know you so well personally.
Yeah.
So to
Appreciate
see that you're like the people around you, what do they say? If God is blessing your neighbor,
it. Yeah.
means it's in the neighborhood. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something that makes me really happy.
Oh, and I'm proud of you too. Doing your
Yeah,
music and stuff. Y'all go
I'll be
check out her
trying.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like the thing about you is consistency. That's the biggest like thing that I really learned from a lot of my friends that are musicians is it's consistency. Like the fact that you've been doing it for so long, and then you've already performed with a lot of people who are really acclaimed in the industry from such a
Mhm.
young age.
Mhm.
It's nothing new to you. And
Mhm.
you have such a naturalness about you. And I think that's really why people relate to you very well. Like
Mm.
I'm going off card, but whatever. So because like I even noticed with like your pictures with Umi, like the whole group, one, it's an all woman
Yeah.
lineup.
Yeah.
Like that was really cool to see. But
Yeah.
also it seems like you guys have like an actual friendship there too. It's not
Oh, we
just
like besties.
yeah.
Like,
Like that's like Spice Girls goals right there.
yeah. No, for real, we like cry together. We tell each other secrets. We like
Mm.
hang out off of stage or like just like, if we're not performing, we always keep in touch. Like if it's
Mhm.
through social media or texting or even like we'll get other gigs together, like with other artists and Umi or whoever, they don't mind because we still like a family at the end of the day.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what I love about it. It's like we call it like soul, we're like soul sisters. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just like from the soul. So
Yeah, you guys have this amazing chemistry. Like you
yeah.
can feel the energy.
Hmm.
But how did it come about? How did the opportunity with Umi arise?
Okay, well, I want to shout out this jam session called Industry. Well, the place was at Industry Cafe and Jazz
I
Lounge or
played
something.
there.
Yeah, the Ethiopian restaurant.
You showed
And
me
the
it.
jam session was called the Pocket LA. So Umi used to go up there and sing
Oh.
because she was like in college and she was nervous to perform, so she wanted to go somewhere to like practice.
Mhm.
And I may or may not have seen her up there. I'm not sure because I didn't really know her at the time. So,
Mhm.
it was like okay. But they had a band backing her up, just like the house band. And
Mhm.
they were my homies. Like Lawford was a keyboard player, my friend David, guitar,
Mhm.
Jeff on drums. And Lawford started talking to Umi like, let's work, let's perform together. So she hired the band that was there to play behind her. Lawford was the music director. And Umi had a drummer named the Sky Drummer, um, and he had to go off to college, and she needed a drummer. So Lawford was like, "Who can I call?" So she always wanted like a female band or
Mhm.
somebody to be female drummer. So
Mhm.
he was like, "You know what? Let me hit up Aisha because she wants that. So let me just like implement that now." So that happened. We did a few runs. We did my first tour with her. We did it with the guys, and then she had to switch roles because she really was about female empowerment and
Mhm.
wanted that type of energy and just like, solid females around her and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
she texts me one day, long text, "Hey, I'm doing this North American tour and I would love for you to, come along with me, but we're going to do an all female band. If you're cool with that, let me know, blah, 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 blah." And I was like, heck yeah, I want to
Yeah.
do that. And that was like my first big tour. So we did that.
Where
The
did you
guy
guys go for that
up.
tour?
Well, like North American tour is like everywhere really. So like, we did LA shows, we did Texas, New York, we did DC, we did I even think we went to Canada. We did
Oh.
yeah, we did like everywhere pretty much in the Midwest, South, East Coast. Like we
Mhm.
did it all. We was just gone. But she was an opener at that time. So we didn't hit every single date they did because it was a long tour. So we did certain select cities. So
Okay.
if you ever go on my Instagram page and like go under tour or something like that, I put at the highlight, you could just see like the flyer with all the stuff. But it was
Okay.
fun.
Okay. So what other artists have you played alongside, and who would be like your favorite artist that you have worked with to date?
Do you have to say the favorite thing?
I
I love
know,
them
right? We don't want to put
all.
people.
Like
Okay,
all
we
my
can do
homies.
like your top if you
Top,
want,
top.
because
Let's do that.
it's hard to pick one, especially if
Yeah,
you're playing alongside so many that
yeah,
like you actually like their music. So,
yeah. So a funny story is, it looks like I may have started playing with Mereba like after Umi, but funny story is, my studio I have in LA, I was just there practicing in my own room, and my homies were practicing in the other room. So they're like, Aisha, come here. And I'm like, what? I'm practicing. And then it was like, our drummer, he just didn't show up. And the drummer's my friend too, so I hope he doesn't say nothing or feel
we
offended.
won't name
But he's my
names.
homie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whatever, that's the homie. But he didn't make it, and Mereba was there just chilling, and they was like, Aisha, can you fill in real quick? So I filled in, and I was rehearsing with her, and then they hooked me up as the drummer, and this was like her first band. um and then she took a hiatus and stopped performing for years, so then she came back, and it kind of looked like I just started with her, but I already did a show with her like way back when. And so when she came back, I would always try to keep in touch with whoever I work with, and I'd be like, yo, if you still need a drummer, like hit me up when you do shows again. So she hit me up, and she had a whole new band, and the band was my homies too, so they was fine with it. So they just called me. Of course she has like a backup or whatever drummer and stuff. But yeah, they called me, and I got to play with her for some cool stuff like Hollywood Bowl, and we did. I never toured with her because sometimes she don't use drums, but we did Hollywood Bowl. We did different festivals like there's this new popular festival. They did it in Long Beach one year. Smoking Grooves. There we go.
Smoking Groove.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like real cool. So we done like stuff like that, just fun stuff. Music videos. I'm in like 3 or 4 music videos. So if you ever watch it, it's like, okay, hey.
Yes.
A
Weren't you
live
in
video.
Gucci Mane? Was it Gucci Mane's music
Oh
video?
yeah, Yo Gotti.
Yo Gotti.
They might
Ah.
the same.
Mm.
Yo Gotti. They wanted a marching band.
Yeah.
It was all females too. So that was cute. So they wanted like a little marching band. It's called I don't want to say the word, but it's HOE. But it's Heaven on Earth. That's what he quotes it as. Okay. But if you listen
Little
to
play
it,
on
it's
words.
not. It's not all that. It's not that. Heaven on Earth. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that was that. That was real cool. I also played with this artist recently. Her name's Rozzi. She real cool. She did has a song with like PJ Morton and stuff. She real soulful. Played with her, and we did like a small run, like we did New York, Atlanta, and LA show. So it was like a quick tour. I've also played with St.Panther. We did a tour opening up for King Princess, who is actually another popular artist. I did a music video with Jessie Reyez. She was doing like a Canadian music award thing. So it was during COVID time, so we couldn't go to the award. So we had to record it, and it was real sick. It was like a music video kind of. So that was crazy. Like, you don't know how much work people put into this stuff. But I swear we did the same little part. I was only in there for like a second. I played that same thing probably over 20 times, the same thing, because if she like wants to do something different or has a creative idea, we just got to go with it and wait. And we're there from like morning time all the way until whatever they call it. It could be midnight. So it's just like all day thing, and people don't realize that it looks like easy and this and that, but it's hard work and it's tiring. So yeah, touring is tiring.
So what do you prefer, being a session musician or live? Like if you had to do a one or the other, would you rather be on stage or in the studio?
I'm gonna be real with you. If live drumming paid better, I would love to just do live and like both live and session, but session work is where the money is, and you get to be more creative and do your own thing, because with live you got to do what the people say, and it's like that's cool and all, but you kind of want to have your own expressive way of doing things, and the studio is kind of where it's at, and I like that. You got to have certain skills to do studio work too, though. It's not just expressing yourself. Sometimes you do have to follow along with charts or like whatever the case may be, based on the session. But yeah, if live was a little more lucrative on top of like how much energy you put into it and how much it weighs on your body, it needs to be more lucrative, but it's not. So, and that's nobody's fault, but you know, whatever.
I
It'll
guess
get
it's because
better
the money gets split up so many different ways. By the
all the
time
way,
it,
like
yeah.
production and stage manage, all this stuff, management, just anything. And they only get so much in their budget, so it's like, all right, whatever. And then to answer your other question about the faves, my top.
I know we don't went off. My bad. You're right. Okay, so who's your top so far?
Me.
Of course, yes. Period. I'm like, I feel like you float around a lot of bands, but I feel like Umi's been the most consistent band that you really have been with the longest.
Since 2018. Been rocking. So yeah, and we're about to do Coachella. It's just like every year it's like a stepping stone or a milestone that we be like, oh my God, we want to do this and that. And then to see it finally come to fruition is like so beautiful.
Yeah, and to think it all started at the Pocket LA.
Right.
Like shout out, because I still want to go back there.
Yeah, I don't think they do it anymore.
They don't do it anymore? Oh,
probably
man.
A different jam, but not the Pocket.
The Pocket was so good. I feel like a lot of people I still follow, they had started there. So
did you go because
you invited me? Yeah, and then I went back again when they were doing like an open mic, and me and Ty had played there. Like we did like a little set. That was nice.
Yeah, they changed locations and everything. And then the pandemic hit, and they just kind of stopped the jam. A lot of stuff just stopped forever.
Yeah, pandemic, right.
It's like, well,
you either sink or swim. So yeah. I'm happy though. At least it did also give you some new opportunities too. Like it made people look at things in a different way. You know what I mean? Like, but okay, so we have Umi, and then who else we have? Let's do two more.
Two more of my favorites?
Yes. Or would you rather do top 5?
No. Because I have played with a lot of people, but some people I can't really like remember because it wasn't like multiple gigs. It's just like one-offs. So probably Mereba and St.Panther. I'm gonna throw one more in there. My homies Plug World.
Yes.
They're like my ride or dies. They're like my brothers, but they don't perform live as much. They kind of want to stick to more of the digital streaming and videos and things like that. So we're still cool. We hang out, you know. Shout out to Plug World, stream their music too. Yeah, so that'll be like my faves. And St.
Maybe I'll have to get an interview with them next.
Actually, they'll do it.
It's funny. A lot of my connections just started from Guitar Center. A lot of people. Yeah, so it was cool. For sure. We'll ask you this because we were talking about how playing live is more taxing. But what were like some of your biggest challenges that you faced, especially with the European tour you just came back from? But I guess tours in general, like what were some of your biggest challenges that happened on stage?
On stage or just anything?
It could be anything. Like as far as, I guess not a lot of people know about like the behind the scenes of actually like going on tour and being on a bus. You were on a plane this time, but yeah, if you're just stuck on the
Europe
tour
was
bus.
On a plane. Yeah, it was cool. Let's just start off with regular touring. So regular touring, first, like when we were like little, like not big of a budget, we were in a Sprinter van. That's very compact, like that little Mercedes Sprinter van. It's cool looking at all, but when you're going to city to city to city, it's like I don't got no space. But thankfully, it was a little crew, so I get to lay my legs out. But that's nowhere you want to sleep. So we would have our hotels every night. That was great. A challenge would be keeping yourself kind of like in shape and healthy because you're eating out every single day. You're not working out unless you're like Umi, who loves the gym and just likes to run in the hot weather, like really hot, humid weather. she'll do yoga out there and stuff, but not me.
She likes
She'll
the
invite us,
Bikram
but I'm
yoga.
like, girl, no. So it's like you gotta have, that consistency and motivation. But yeah, no, it's not for everybody. The tour bus. It's cool because you have your own bed. Once you're done with the show, you shower at the venue, which is kind of a little weird too, because it's like you got all these people shower, shower, shower. You gotta hurry up. You gotta cut a certain time before you have to be out in the venue, out of the venue. Sometimes the showers is not the best. It's a venue. Like there's all type of people who've been in there. Laundry. Every venue doesn't have laundry. When we do get day offs, we can have a day room at a hotel. Sometimes they don't have laundry. So we just wearing clothes over and over. That's why I like to pack like a lot of stuff. It's not like the best to travel with because it's heavy, but I try to pack a lot of stuff. And then it's just like how you said, Umi and us, we're like a family, or like we have this connection. Some people go on tour with anybody. I don't go on tour with anybody. I've been asked to do many tours. I can count maybe more than 10, I'm sure, and I've turned them down because I don't know them. And it's like I don't know how I'm gonna vibe, and I don't know if I can live with them. That's like having a roommate. You don't know how this person takes care of their space, or like how they are as a person. They might be doing drugs for all you know. You never knew, and they acting crazy on the bus. So it's like that's important too. And that can be a challenge, like being with other people that you're not used to being with every day. So that's what I love about the group. We make sure that whoever we bring into the group, if it's new, we got to make sure we all vibe and we don't have bump heads because it's going to be issues. So that's important. Another challenge I've had was we've been on stage one time where shout out to the engineers and stuff because that's a hard job. But sound can go out. We run a playback rig, which is like some serious stuff. So like if them tracks ain't tracking and the click is not clicking and everything goes out, it's up to us to make that decision to keep playing or to stop and like figure out crowd interaction or something, because the track is real important for us if we've been practicing like that and not practicing playing it live. So, which it is played live, but you know what I mean? Like just no track like bare.
Yeah, so keep the meter and everything.
So we've had moments where our inners went out, which is really bad because we don't have wedges.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, we got to play it off. We've had instances where like an instrument went out, like a keyboard or something. We just got to guitar, play, like go acoustic, you and such acoustic. That's challenging. Just being on the road for a long time is challenging. You're away from family, you're away from your space at home. You just want to be at home and or with your whoever, and you just like you can feel down a lot on tour. People have their moments a lot on tour. Like you just kind of know. You'll look at them and be like, "You're all right," and sometimes you just know not to ask because it just look like they're not having that good day. So just like with any day in life. But that's really hard. Budgeting your money. Touring is some nice bread sometimes. So that's a challenge. Making sure you don't blow it.
Mostly because a lot of being a musician isn't lucrative. But one of the things that really helps is endorsements. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the brands that you're endorsed by. And then how did you secure these endorsements?
Okay. Shout out to the companies Roland, Pisces Symbols, Simpad, Ultimate Ears. No, I wish. Ultimate Ears. The endorsements that I do want are Vic Firth, Tama Drums.
How did you secure the endorsements?
Oh yeah. So really once you go on tour, it's like, all right. As far as like the in-ears and stuff, I was just going on tour like in my beginning stages. I had a homie who was with Me Audio, and he just hooked it up. He gave it to me. I told him who I played for. Then he hooked her up, Umi, with some in-ears and stuff. So just like it's really about the connection with the people and the vibe. also NAMM convention helps.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's people there that are endorsing. You got to know somebody. So shout out to Bianca. She helped me with my Pisces symbols endorsement. Um,
You guys
just like
also played the Vic Firth duo together, right?
yeah, and she's
Mm-hmm.
endorsed with Vic Firth, but I'm not there yet. I'll get there. I'll
You'll
get
be
it one
there.
day. I'm gonna start
Yeah.
applying because my resume is resume. So
Yes, it is.
I'm just like, all right, y'all, it's time.
I'll also link you guys to that video. It's amazing. Like
No.
what was it like recording that? Especially because you guys are both, I feel like Black women drummers, like you don't see too many one
Yeah,
that really make it. So it's like you guys both have these odds just stacked against you, and not a
yeah.
lot of people give the recognition where it's deserved.
Fact.
So it was really cool. Just I watched it. I'm just like, you guys have a chemistry there too.
Well, we just homegirls, like we cool as heck, like especially over the pandemic, we were just bored and like figuring out what we can do to like still promote ourselves and make money and just vibe with other musicians, and we just call each other all the time, and we got closer that way. But Bianca, she's great, amazing drummer, producer, teacher.
Mm-hmm.
She got the Big Firth opportunity, hit me up about it. I was like, yeah. But funny story. Well, this part isn't funny, but Kobe passed away, and we
Mm-hmm.
were like, whoa, we got to do a tribute or something. So she came up with these cool basketball sounds to play on the Roland SPD pad, and we kind of just like jammed off of that at my studio. But funny part is, at the studio, I had a long day. I don't know what I did, work or something. So we're going through what the plan, what we're gonna do. I straight up fall asleep on the couch. And she's like, okay, well, she sleeps. I'm gonna program these sounds. This is literally like a day before, like days. I don't know. It was real close to the time we needed to record. So we practiced a little bit, but once I hit that couch, I was like, I went home. So she was like, Aisha got it. So we kind of barely practiced. We practiced a little bit, but I fell asleep, honey. And she just did like the sounds in the pad. And then, yeah, I went to sleep. And then we did the recording, and it was natural. It was just like, you know what? Let's just have fun, jam it out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we did. So we
Yeah.
had like our basics down, like, oh, we're gonna play this groove in the beginning and how this is how we're gonna end. Other than that, it's just like, all right, go, go, go.
Improvise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool.
Yeah, you definitely couldn't tell that it was improv though. Like you guys
Yeah.
had it tight.
Oh yeah, it was tight.
It was
But
tight.
I was tired when we rehearsed it. So
And
that's
then
that.
the last question I have for you is, do you feel like you've reached your goal as a musician, or is there still some goals that you feel like you're waiting to accomplish?
Of course there's goals I've reached. But there's so many more goals I want to do. I have a long-term plan. I also I graduated from college with a degree in hospitality management. And that's where the food part comes in. I also want to have a restaurant with live music eventually. So
Mm-hmm.
there's that stuff that I just haven't got to. I don't have the funds for it. So if there's any grants out there or people who want to invest in your girl,
Mm-hmm.
shoot, let's get that going, because I think that would be a great business to have. There's not many things going on like that. I
Yeah.
feel like I could provide a platform for up and coming artists and musicians to just perform there and eat good food. So
Mm-hmm.
it's things like that. Just kind of like I want to have a nonprofit for youth or like people who don't have money like that to learn how to play music or produce or something like that. Maybe like a
Mm-hmm.
little school or something. Um, yeah, and I also want to like be a session drummer ultimately, like kind of full time, and kind of back off the live music when I get older. Cause I
Mm-hmm.
already feel my body just like shutting down, like my back and all this stuff. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like 35, 36. I don't want to really be doing that touring and stuff.
Yeah.
I know people, guys do it 40s, 50s. Look at Frankie Beverly and Mace. They're like
Mm-hmm.
70s or something, like my grandma's age. So that's not
Those
what I
fans
want
are
to do.
still
Like
out there.
Patti
That's why they still want
LaBelle.
to see you. They
Yeah,
still
look
want
at
to
Patti
see you.
LaBelle still throwing them shoes off. So I'm like, girl. So it's just
Man.
like I'll do it, here and there when the opportunity presents itself. But artists I want to play for, like Beyonce, like they're still goals I'm aiming for that I believe I could do. But yeah, I think forever, like for as long as I live, I think I'm gonna be trying to reach
A new
something. And
goal.
yeah, I just want to be wealthy and happy, really. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
and just make an impact on people.
Yeah. That is
Yeah,
true. That is
that's like a
true.
lifelong goal, make an impact, because you're always gonna touch somebody, but it's like you're gonna do that forever. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we hope that we do that forever, like be able to make like a lasting impression on someone,
Yeah,
something that's gonna hopefully change their life or inspire them for the better.
yeah, definitely,
That's true.
definitely.
Oh my God, this actually was really good.
It was
Thank
nervous for nothing,
you.
huh?
I was nervous for
Mm,
nothing.
for
I have a few
nothing.
more interviews next week.
Nice.
So I'm just like, I was happy I wanted to do you first. I already knew I
Uh-huh.
wanted my first interview to be with you because we've been friends for so long. And just um you really do inspire me. Like
Uh,
you really did come over on Christmas to
I
bring my
did.
daughter a gift. Like
And
you're
eat
one of the
some
most
mac and
humble people I
cheese.
know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, you're the reason why I joined the church. Like, I feel like you were the catalyst for a lot of events in my life. Like, I
yeah.
met the pastor because of you. I got closer to God because of you.
Mm.
Found my husband
Well, not because of
somehow.
me.
It wasn't necessarily directly because of you, but because I was in a place in my life where I was trying to get closer to God and I wanted to become celibate. I wanted to like redirect
Let them
myself in a
know.
better direction. And that's what weeded certain people out and brought me Nick.
Oh yeah,
But
Nick's
I do
great.
still attribute that to you because
Uh-huh.
I feel like, yeah, no lie, like you were just like a living testament
Yeah.
of
Aw.
God.
Aw. Even though
But
I did
I might cut
my
all this out because it's all sappy.
no, it's really good.
But
That's
it's
really good.
true. It is very true for
Don't cut it
me.
out.
Okay, I
Yeah.
won't cut it out. But it is
That's
true for
good.
me. It is
People
true for
should
me.
know.
People should
Yeah.
know. You're right. You're right. We gotta spread the
Yeah.
message
About
um
God.
of God.
Yeah. And just being a
Yes.
good person, really. Shoot.
And being a great person
But there's
ultimately.
people out there that may not know me like that. And they may think I'm cocky or,
Mm.
this and that. But I really think
Who
I'm really
thinks
humble.
that about you?
We won't name no names.
That we can
Bye.
just end here.
Yeah.
Hey, we did it. Okay. Oh. I want to say one more thing about the merch.
Oh yeah, you
Okay.
gotta say the
So
merch.
thank you guys for watching this long. Thank you for getting to the end of the video. Please be on the lookout for the Callous Vision Aisha G collaboration. We got great merch coming out, all original designs. Please support. Aisha has her own website, her own merch line too. She's got lessons if you're interested. So I'm just excited that we can start this journey together. Thank you guys so much.